Hi, my name is Jonathan Nickel, and I hope you found this playing demonstration to be beneficial. Very quickly, I'd like to detail the key points that I kept in mind while working on these Fairlane Etudes myself. For the tenor lyrical, Fairlane number 13, keep in mind that this, especially the selection that you've been given for this, is all very smooth. So always thinking forward with momentum. Each line needs to go somewhere and thinking longer lines. Try not to microphrase this etude. With that being said, also consider use of vibrato on this etude, perhaps not a fast vibrato, but rather a more slower vibrato with some color and depth to provide warmth to the sound. You'll notice some of the constant crescendo decrescendos that are written throughout. Make sure that you are pacing those appropriately and understanding where you would like your arrival points to be. I took a breath before the trill in the final measure of line 1, and I found that to be beneficial for getting through the rest of the line. From there, you'll get to the middle A to high A octave jump in the third measure of the second line. I would recommend for that trying to ensure that the top A doesn't go very sharp. Try and keep the pitch down on that. You can even use, perhaps put down your 5 in the right hand, so middle finger, to help bring down pitch on that. From there, restarting on the G, nice piano. Use the tongue and air at the same time to restart. You'll have another breath mark in the next measure. You'll keep going, allow for a nice crescendo through the final phrase before the cutoff for this etude. And at the very end, I found it beneficial to use a palm key C4 fingering for the final E natural that slurs down to the G natural, and then finally ending on the F sharp. For the technical etude, the main thing to keep in mind for this is that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and is going to be constant throughout. So even though it's one triplet, always make sure that that 16th note triplet is lining right up on the ends of the beats. Da, digga da da, digga da da, digga da da. So keeping that even, but don't let it get too metronomical. We want it to be nice and even and well articulated, but we still want the lines to go places. So for example, we do start forte. I kept that nice and loud throughout, but then I did a decrescendo at the end of the first measure in the second line. I liked the sense of color that that created with the tonality shift before we add back in E flat later, and then I crescendoed again. Keep in mind the accents later on as we get to the second measure of the third line, dum, and you'll notice the accents continue at the start of certain lines later on. I don't think they need to be overemphasized, but rather they're there to help add in extra emphasis and create a sense of propulsion forward with the etude. From there, I took a breath in the second line of the second to last measure. That helped me with maintaining air for the ending of the etude. In the first two measures of the final line, it goes high and low again, but still think a longer line here, and notice that you've got that similar shape twice in a row. So let that go somewhere. Don't let it stagnate, but also don't let the tessiture of the line dictate dynamics. I think you can try and think more blowing through the low end. The high end will speak for itself so that we go to some sort of finale point. From there, I crescendoed to the end, the final A flat, and left that as a full quarter, dotted quarter value. Whether you add vibrato to it or not, the main thing is keeping an eye on pitch and not to spread your tone. And with that, I hope this is helpful. Best of luck on your auditions moving forward. And as always, my information is in the description below. You can reach out with any questions you may have. Take care.